Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
That's right, boys and girls. Welcome to the ProBoh Show. If you're one of our amazing podcast listeners, one of those angelic beings that catch up with the tape of this show after we've done it, well then, happy Wednesday morning. For those of you catching me live, it is currently Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central European Time, and we're about to embark in a special kind of ProBoh Show today. This isn't going out on the radio, so this is going to be, we're going to kind of touch on things that may be a little unseemly for the radio. Today, that's drugs and sex. Doesn't it feel good not to be shackled by traditional broadcast media, friends? Of course it does. A big hello to Crystal, Don't Worry Be Happy, and The Bridge joining me live in the chat. And boy, do we have a show for you today. I thoroughly tortured the elves this morning and they prepared an amazing show for me. In 100 Humans, I asked them to name something that is better than sex. In today's Complete the News, we look at why a California school district had to pay $2.25 million. And if we have time, we'll find out why a man got sentenced to 85 years behind bars. But before all that fun, friends, we have a delicious unpopular opinion today, and that is marijuana should be legalized globally. I have done my research for today's show. Some might say, about 30 years worth of research. You're welcome. And it was all in the lead up for this show. The unpopular opinion is marijuana should be legalized globally. Andrea just got back from the States. My cohort, co-host on the other show that I do, the lunchtime show, and over there marijuana is legal for recreational use. Okay, so la marihuana debe legalizarse en todo el mundo. What do you think? I'm going to be asking for your opinion on that. Not right now. First of all, we're going to get into some news. Okay, so let's get into it. Some scary news out of America, specifically Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona has broken a heat record as the city hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 43 degrees centigrade for those of us here. So Arizona has surpassed its previous record for the number of days with temperatures reaching or exceeding 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The city experiences its 54th day of such temperatures this year. Wow, dude. And we complain in Madrid, we have to deal with that temperature for maximum 2 weeks, 14 days. Those guys in Arizona have been dealing with that this year alone, 54 days. That is crazy. The ancient cacti have all died. It's so sad. I had not heard about the ancient cacti. In fact, that's from Crystal in the chat. I am actually quite surprised that ancient cacti exists. How could that have? How did I miss the memo on that? But it's that's sad if true. Yeah. The ancient cacti have all died. So let's see. Let's continue on with this news story. For comparison, the average number of days with temperatures of 110 degrees Fahrenheit or above from 1991 to 2020 was 21 days, and in this just 1 year, it's experienced 54. If you're a climate change denier, dude, take another look at the research. I don't know. See, it's weird to me how people can deny. Look, all right, I get you. I understand. Like a certain few of you out there are kind of saying, well, climate might be changing, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's being caused by humans. All right, I mean, okay. I understand. I know your cyclical argument there. Fair play to you. But can we really deny that it's happening anymore? Really? I don't know. Rosie Grams, this weather is unprecedented. We just had a week of 27 to 30 degrees. Roll on winter. That's from Mama Bo joining us in the chat. How you doing, Mama Bo? Yeah. I mean, we had two in Madrid where the show is produced. If you're an international listener, this show is produced in Madrid, Spain, in the heart of Europe, indeed in the heart of Spain. And we just had two heat waves, one after another, where the temperatures were exceeding 40 degrees every single day. And that went on for like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. You can deny if you like whether we humans have caused this or not. I mean, I'm open to that debate, but what I'm not open to debating is that this is actually happening. I mean, come on, just look outside your windows, friends, or just read the news if that is your bag. Okay, more news here. If you're living in Europe, here's some worrying news, or at least news to think about. Okay, is this the end of cheap European flights? France proposes an EU-wide minimum price. This is coming from Forbes. It's coming from Forbes Australia, but it reports on the French government. So here we go. The French government has proposed introducing a minimum price for airline tickets to curtail the availability of ultra-cheap flights within Europe. This move, advocated by the French transport minister, is seen as a response to environmental concerns, asserting that €10 or $10, it says 10 Australian dollars. I'm not sure how that marks up against the euro. My apologies. They're no longer sustainable in the current ecological climate. Okay. Having said that about the heat, how do you feel about this? I mean, if you do live in Europe, I'm pretty sure you've at some point taken advantage of cheap flights, dude. Come on, some Ryanair flights are cheaper than buses. Like, I live relatively close to Madrid Barajas Airport, and I assure you, at certain parts of the year, I can fly to Amsterdam cheaper than it would cost me to take a bus to the north of Spain. So, yeah, it is. I would like to know where the travel companies land on this one. Because a higher price is not going to mean people pay higher tickets. It's going to mean people travel less, right? Isn't that how this is going to shake down? I mean, sure, there'll be a few people who say, well, okay, I can't get my cheap deal right now. Maybe instead of taking a few small trips throughout the year, I'll just take one big one in the summer. But I'll tell you what won't happen. I don't think the airlines or travel agencies, if those even exist anymore, I don't think those guys are going to be making any more money. This has to work at a net loss for them, right? Min's here, he says, right, let's be controversial. Emily's here, she says, Rob, oh my God, I need a vacation. How are you doing, Emily? Don't worry, be happy. Says it's forbidden, in this case, forbid cheap flights. Is forbid the solution to all our problems? I don't think so. Don't worry, be happy.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
I mean, is there a way we can maybe transition into more ecologically friendly modes of transportation without kind of making the most economically challenged people in Europe suffer? Because that's what we're talking here. When you're gonna ban anything with a prefix of cheap flights, cheap food, cheap, what you're doing is you're essentially picking on the poorest in society. Are those really the people? Why? I tell you what, France, why don't we ban private jets? No more private jets. None. As of today, everyone flies commercial. No more private jets. How about that? Why is the French transport minister not saying anything about that? You know, as a first step. Just an idea. Woo! Rob's on fire today. The UK has competition laws that allow companies to compete in the market. I mean, that's why we get these cheap fares. It's quite often the prices like companies like Ryanair who basically offer a bus service but with wings. Let's face it. That's how they can operate. You know, they know that there are airlines out there where people will pay a little more and they'll get a little better service. But for those people like me, Ryanair is there. You know, so we can feel that anxiety. Is my bag too big? Are they going to let me get on the plane with this without charging me to take to put it in the bottom of the plane? Let's see. So yeah, I don't know. Why not make an effort to target wealthy people? I don't know. Just seems weird to me. Okay, final piece of news for this show. We're going to go over this briefly because I'm pretty sure it won't, or maybe it will. I don't think it'll affect many of our lives, but it is certainly an interesting piece of news in the world of tech. Here we go. The International Criminal Court. You guys know probably or are familiar with the International Criminal Court more through its initials, the ICC in The Hague. The ICC. The International Criminal Court will now prosecute cyber war crimes. Cyber war crimes. Interesting. So the International Criminal Court has declared its intention to investigate and prosecute cyber war crimes, equating them to physical war crimes. This decision comes without the need for a new Geneva Convention for cyber war. The ICC's lead prosecutor emphasized that cyber warfare can significantly impact people's lives, especially when targeting critical infrastructure like medical facilities or power systems. While neither the article nor official statements explicitly mention Russia or Ukraine, the announcements coincide with increased scrutiny on Russia's cyber attacks against Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the line is becoming so blurred now between what is online and what is reality. There was a point of time there, remember when cyberbullying, before we had a name for cyberbullying, and then people of my generation, when people were complaining of cyberbullying, says, why don't you just turn the damn computer off and get on with your life? I think now the kind of blend between what happens in the digital world and what happens in our real life is becoming so grey and so blurred. Maybe it's time that the ICC did this, and maybe quite justifiably so. Why not roll this out a little more into propaganda? Shouldn't someone have to pay their dues for what happened during Brexit or the interference in the 2016 American election? Aren't there crimes worth investigating? Are they even crimes? Geneva suggestions, says Min. Not quite sure I understood that. My bad. Den Haag is a pretty place. I love the Palace of Peace when all the tulips are blooming, says Emily. Let's see. Or move nearer a holiday destination, says The Bridge. Yeah, I mean, look, I did that. I lived for a couple of years on a paradise desert island. I was miserable. I needed something to complain about. While we're talking about complaining about things, friends, let's move on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
All right, here we are, my friends. Here we are. I've spent the last 15 to 30 years researching this unpopular opinion just for today, just so you know how much I care about you and the show. Here we go. Marijuana should be legalized globally. So yeah, this is something that comes a little bit to the forefront, right? I mean, with marijuana laws relaxing all over the world, places like California where it's legal for just for public use, not just medically, it's just for recreational use, as they say. So let's talk about this. Should marijuana be legalized globally? I thoroughly tortured the elves today. They gave me some pros and cons, so let's get into them right now. Okay, so agreeing with the statement that marijuana should be legalized globally, numerous studies have shown that marijuana has therapeutic properties that can help treat chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and even reduce the side effects of chemotherapy. Legalizing it would make it more accessible for patients. Legalizing marijuana can create new industries, leading to job creation and significant tax revenues for its governments. It also diverts profits from the black market. By legalizing and regulating the production and sale of marijuana, governments can ensure product safety, potency, and potency. Oh, elves, what are you doing while I'm away? Potency, and prevent the sale of adulterated products. And finally, in the pro column, here we go. Legalization would reduce the burden on criminal justice system, as law enforcement resources would no longer be tied up with non-violent marijuana offences. It would also reduce the associated costs of prosecution and incarceration. True story, man. How many people are incarcerated from marijuana offences globally? I did try and find that number and I couldn't find it. But I bet it's a lot. Let me just take a quick look into the chat, see if there's anything relevant here. Medically, yes, says Mama Bo, but everyday use, no. Don't worry, be happy. Maybe we would work better. Tell you who'd work better. The pizza delivery man, he would work better. Emily says also have better program than NA. I'm not sure what that is in reference to. Okay, so the con arguments against legalizing marijuana the world over. While marijuana has therapeutic benefits, it's not without risk. Chronic use can lead to mental health issues, including anxiety, paranoia, and in some cases, psychosis. There's also concerns of impaired driving and its consequences. And also, we covered a news story a couple of weeks ago saying that cadmium and another heavy metal, was it lead, was found to a high degree in marijuana users' bloodstreams. If you remember that a few episodes back. Here we go. The gateway drug theory, which I think for me is the weakest argument. Some argue that marijuana acts as a gateway to harder, more harmful drugs. While this theory is debated, the concern remains that increased accessibility might lead to an increase in overall drug use. Next, youth accessibility. Legalization might inadvertently make marijuana more accessible to adolescents, potentially harming their developing brains. And finally, global disparity. The effects of legalization in one country can spill over into neighboring countries where it remains illegal, causing tension. This could result in smuggling, increased law enforcement, and challenges. This is why, elves, I said the world over, globally. Okay, it would be hard to set up. We're talking in hypotheticals here, friends. Okay, NA, it's Narcotic Addicts Anonymous. Okay, thank you, Emily, dropping some knowledge. All right, so let's break into this. I did receive a bunch of messages on Instagram. We'll get into those in a second. First of all, Alone Strong here says, let's have a comparison between alcohol, which is legal, and marijuana, still considered illegal. Then decide. Number 1, addiction. Weed is non-addictive, only psychologically addictive. Whereas alcohol is very addictive, both physically and psychologically. Your body will crave for it. Basically, is a brief description he makes there of physical addiction. Well, yeah, your body kind of creates a need for that substance. Whereas psychologically, there is no physical addiction in your body. It's just a psychological kind of yearning, if you like. Only 10% of marijuana users become addicted, where the case in alcohol is 35%. Geez, that's stressing me out. I'm going to go get a beer. Okay, interesting points. Thank you, Alone Strong.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
You'd have to legalize it, but still discourage it, says Min. I don't think you want to promote global substance use, whichever substance it is. Same for fats, sugars, and alcohol. Great point. You know, sugar gets away with so much, doesn't it? When it's, again, kind of an addictive, even if just psychologically so. I'm not sure if there is any kind of empirical evidence whether it's physically addictive or not. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. But yeah, sugar gets a real, or processed sugar gets a real pass on this for some reason. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to encourage it. We don't encourage cigarette smoking. We don't encourage drinking. They're not allowed to advertise, certainly like they used to be. I mean, online, that's debatable. But yeah, would a legalization necessarily mean encouraging it? I suppose there's a certain amount of encouraging and just legalizing the thing, but then where you go from there is up to you. I mean, I'm not sure anyone would encourage the use of any substance. And there's another one. Caffeine gets a little pass, doesn't it? Why isn't it caffeine, another highly addictive substance, gets a pass? Yeah, marijuana doesn't. Anyway, let's continue. Emily, the reason I say NAA because pot is often a gateway drug, says Emily. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's fair to say, but it's a gateway drug because it's illegal. If you didn't have to go and see a drug dealer to pick it up, then maybe it wouldn't be. There's a solid argument against that theory. Okay, Lone Strong, overdose. It's practically impossible to overdose by marijuana because a person needs to consume 15 tons in just 15 minutes, while alcohol can be lethal in a very small amount. Pure alcohol can, yeah. And finally, he goes on, deaths. In every 19 minutes, someone dies due to alcohol, while in the case of weed, till now, a single person has never died. Surprised? So was I. Health benefits. It's already proven that marijuana is used to cure... It doesn't cure cancer. So there's a little bit of a fallacy there, Alone Strong. It can treat the symptoms of chemotherapy, though. It helps to free up your stress from time immemorial and is used as a painkiller too. It's a very long message. Do read that if you want to carry on. We have sugar tax in the UK, says Mama Bo, dropping some knowledge.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
According to much research, it's found that marijuana enhances your vision. Well, I mean, not if you're smoking it in the same room. You know? Someone get a fan on. It's getting smoky in here. The way you see a thing. While alcohol, it just gives you aggression and nothing. Yeah, I mean, most of you have heard me and my complaints about alcohol. As you know, I used to have a problem in my younger years, and I drink very infrequently now. So yeah, I mean, I do have my issues with alcohol, but does that necessarily mean we should be legalizing another substance when there are already problematic substances in the market? As you know, I'm going through my own kind of challenge with sugar now, cutting like sweetness out of my diet to kind of reduce my sweet tooth, my dependency, as it were, to sweet flavors, which is hard because human beings, practically every animal is hardwired to love sweetness, right? Anyway, let's continue. Caffeine is beneficial, says Emily. I mean, Emily, I agree with you, because thanks to me drinking a ton of coffee, I don't murder people every day. So there you go. Well done. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes people try harder drugs because they are chasing a high in the same way alcoholism is. Very hard, yeah. So there you go. That's the debate open for today. I did get some messages online. Mia says, I've seen a lot of young people... I've seen a lot of young people in hospital because they've mishandled substances. I'm all for medical uses, but I worry about kids and what legalization could mean for them. Thank you, Mia. Leo again, joining us in the discussion on Instagram, says, I've been to Amsterdam and it's chill there. Honestly, I think legalizing it globally would reduce black market issues. Plus, from a business perspective, there's a huge untapped market, and think about the tech that could support it. I actually had a good friend who worked on an app. Anyway, I'm not going to continue on with this because I don't want to name anyone. But yeah, a good friend of mine worked on an app, particularly the API of an app for marijuana. I mean, it's a world. When you get into the world, like real marijuana smokers they're like connoisseurs. You know, what do you want? Do you want a sativa, an indica? How would you like to feel? I mean, I get it. But no one cares what I think, friends. No one cares what I think. As Grandpa Bo used to say, we all, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, even mine. So I will, before I leave you for the commercial break, I will say this. I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen a lot of violence conducted whilst people have been inebriated. I have never seen that with alcohol. Never. Not once in my 45 years. All right, so we're going to post a poll in the chat. You guys are going to tell me, should marijuana be legalized globally? All right, friends, a lot of things you could have been doing this afternoon, but instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I will see you in a few short minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show.
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. How you doing out there, friends? I think before the break, I made a little slip of the tongue. I said that I've seen lots of violence carried out while inebriated, drunk on alcohol. What I meant to say is I've seen very little. Never in my life, in my 45 years, have I seen violence done while stoned. I mean, and that's just me talking about my objective experience. What I've experienced in my life. But guys, doesn't matter what I think. What matters here is what you think. I do have the results from the audience poll. So thank you very much for that, my friends, joining me live. Let's take a look at a few messages that I received. Don't worry, be happy, saying super interesting data. I had no idea. That's in response to all the information that Alone Strong sent us. Deep down, just like alcohol is legal, marijuana should be legal, says Alone Strong. Vero says, this evening's show means there won't be a live show tomorrow morning. It does, Vero. My colleague, my mentor, Mr. Richard Vaughan, will be in the studio at 8:30 tomorrow, so this will replace that show. All right. What did we see before the break? If you're just tuning in, well, we took a look at some news. We saw that maybe this might be the end of cheap European flights, as France is looking to, or is trying to make a move, saying, look, these $10 flights in the climate crisis that we're experiencing right now, can we really justify them? And I get it. You know, there is a lot of common sense there, but I'd also say, you know, when you kind of ban the cheapest of anything, you're only punishing the most vulnerable in society, the poorest. So maybe, maybe we should be banning private jets. Right? That's a thought of mine. Anyway, Phoenix breaking a heat record, hitting 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 43 degrees centigrade for the 54th day this year. And to understand what a big deal that is, between the years 1991 and 2020, it only exceeded those temperatures for 21 days in total. It's crazy out there, friends. It's crazy. And then finally, we looked at the ICC at The Hague, looking to now prosecute cyber war crimes. Interesting. Not specifically detailing the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine, but there's certainly some inspiration there, I think. And today's After Dark controversial issue is that marijuana should be legalized all around the world. And we've been having a fantastic debate here about that. Before we go on, I do have the results of the poll. I believe everyone in the audience has already voted on that. Let me just double check. Let me see the results. Yes, they have. Okay. On Instagram. So I released the poll earlier on Instagram, and what did they say? Well, they said 70% true. I'm surprised they mustered up the energy to write that. In between munchies, they just clicked true. What about our live audience? The more discerning audience that joins us live, just like you podcast listeners out there. What do you think? Because it's interesting, right? What I do hear a lot of, and what makes a lot of sense to me, is like medically, yes, it should be. And I think we can all agree that medically, it should be legal all over the world. I mean, there are, again, like the elves mentioned earlier, there are numerous studies outlining the benefits of marijuana. When I say legally, I don't just mean for people going through chemotherapy. I mean for people in chronic pain, people suffering epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, all these, even like I would say, even to treat chronic stress or anything like that. Why not use this substance for the net benefit of society? It makes no sense to me how it can be how people with an illness using marijuana can be how it can be justified that they should no longer do so. But where the question arises, I find, is with everyday use, right? Not just decriminalizing it, legalizing it. You know, how much can you carry around on the street? As much as you want. And the argument there seems to come from the rationale of it being a gateway substance. Because we've all seen the stories, we've all heard the reports of this, of marijuana being, non-addictive, physically so. But there is a lot of evidence to suggest that the psychological addiction is quite strong. So there is evidence to suggest that, but in terms of its detriment, you can't overdose on it. You can't, in all sorts of aspects, it does seem to be infinitely better than a lot of drugs that are actually legal right now. Right there, I'm talking about alcohol, nicotine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that people don't encourage imbibing alcohol. They don't encourage people to smoke. In fact, society as a whole, or on a whole, we kind of discourage that, right? We refuse to sell alcohol to people under a certain age. We don't let them advertise or sponsor events like they used to. It's become, we have as a society have decided to discourage drinking to excess. So, okay, we get it. Just because we legalize marijuana, does that mean for you, or do you think that would signal to society, well, this is something we should encourage? I mean, for me, I don't, but I don't think it's such a leap of logic to kind of believe that it could be seen in that way. I fall on the true side of this argument. I think it should be legalized globally. I think is not only is hard to put, would that be impossible to push through, but the reason that is there, the reason I've said marijuana should be legalized globally is because of the other net negative towards the legalization of marijuana is that's at countries' borders. The idea that smuggling can happen because of the ease of access on the other side of the border. So there you go. Those are all the pros and cons as I see them. And my opinion is on this subject, as I've told you before, true. I've seen very little violence carried out by marijuana users. I've seen a lot of it by alcohol users. I have known in my life several people who struggled with alcohol. I myself have struggled with alcohol. And there you go. So let's get into the results of the poll, my friend. Let's see what our discerning live audience said. Well, I made the statement, marijuana should be legalized globally, and you guys said 75% true. There seems to be an incredible dissonance between the way we see things as society and the way government legislation, or even in certain cases, societal norms dictate otherwise. We cover this kind of thing regularly on the show. And whereas it's no surprise to me that you voted true today, it seems to be a little bit shocking, I guess, for a lot of people in power. I think a vote for true on this is not only a vote for the legalization of this substance, but also in the nature of humans and potential users to treat it responsibly. And that kind of gives me hope. Let's take a look at the chat and see what people were saying. The Bridge here says, criminalizing alcohol did no good. We need to learn the value of education and freedom.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
The Bridge knocking it out of the park with that one. This evening show means there won't be... Oh, sorry, I read that one. Sorry, very my bad. Rosie Graham says, criminalizing alcohol doesn't work. The Americans went through it during Prohibition. It just causes more crime, which I think is a real strong argument in favor of legalizing marijuana. Take such a soft drug out of the hands of drug dealers. If you had to buy aspirin from a drug dealer, oh, by the way, while you're buying this aspirin, have you met heroin? Anyway, let's continue. It's true, yeah. Maybe I'm not a big believer in banning things either. But if I were to ban one substance, it wouldn't be alcohol. It wouldn't be marijuana. It'd be alcohol. If I had to choose between the two. But I'm not in favor of banning alcohol. No way. Well, let's see. Alone Strong. We don't... I gave some objective data that I read. Sorry, Alone Strong. I think the big pharmaceutical companies are afraid that people know the medical benefits of cannabis for fear of them losing their profits. And Emily agrees with that statement. Isn't it interesting? I'm going to go off into a tangent of conspiracy theories now. But that's what After Dark is about, I guess. But isn't it interesting, friends, how we seem to have a lot of medicines that control symptoms, but very few cures? Isn't it interesting how marijuana, a drug that can be used to treat chronic pain, all sorts of human suffering, sleep loss, loss of appetite? Isn't it funny how a natural substance that grows naturally on our planet is illegal? Yet certain pharmaceutical companies will push sleep cures, appetite exciters, things like that. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how one of the biggest donors to political campaigns are drug companies? Isn't that weird? Friends? Look, I don't want to call... I don't think... jeez. I sound like Alex Jones right now. They're turning the freaking frogs gay! But, I would love to live in a world where if you've lost your appetite, you're struggling sleeping, you just go around the corner and pick up a substance and basically have it handed to you the way you would pick it off the branch and be able to solve your problem that way rather than go through some processed pharmaceutical product. Imagine that, friends. It's given on prescription by doctors for some medical conditions in the UK. That's from Mama Bo there. So yeah, well, did I reveal the results of the poll? You guys said 75% true. I think I did. 75% true. And yeah, and I would consider that a vote not only, as I said before, not only for the benefits of marijuana, but also for society's understanding of it to be a net benefit and not to abuse it. I mean, I certainly think, I have no evidence for this, but at least what I've seen in my own eyes in Madrid, see a lot more people drinking more responsibly and see a lot more social responsibility, particularly among the younger generations. I don't know. Quite often I feel like we're being mollycoddled, and we shouldn't be. And I think restricting access to things quite often is not the way forward. Or at least it's not the way forward, or it's not the way we should be moving as a society. Much more along the lines of what the Bridge says. Education and freedom, right? Isn't that what we want? Isn't that a good benchmark? With that said, friends, let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God, friends, it was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk, I encountered 100 humans, and I asked them all a question. Today's question is, name something that is better than sex. Okay, name something that's better than sex. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I have the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. Mama Bo straight off the mark here. Mama Bo says, a good meal. There are foodstuffs on this list, so you need to be more specific. The bridge says, I wonder if it would be a benefit to my sciatica. I am high on paracetamol and Movalis. Give it a go, Bridge. I don't know where you pick it up where you are. I don't know. All right, so there you go. Crystal says, sleep. Is sleep better than sex? Or at least did the 100 humans think sleep was better than sex? Yes, they did. Well done. Crystal has gotten us off of the mark. And Crystal, with 31 of 100 humans, it's the number 1 answer. All right, well done, well done. Okay, you're off the mark, guys. 6 more to get. Chocolate, says Vero. Is chocolate there? Is chocolate better than sex to the 100 humans? Yes, it is. Well done. Vero, it is the 7th. No, sorry, my bad. The 5th most popular answer, with 8 of 100 humans saying chocolate is better than sex. Chocolate, says the bridge as well, obviously. Obviously, come on. Okay, Alone Strong says knowledge. Knowledge. Is knowledge better than sex? It's not there. I know where you're coming from. I agree. But the legions, the 100 humans did not. Sadly. Knowledge is a good one. How are you doing, Cornman, joining us in the chat all the way from South Africa? It's good to see you. Okay, Alone Strong says a hug. Is a hug better than sex? Isn't a hug just like a precursor? Well, I suppose not. I suppose you can hug your friends. Look at me being a dirty-minded fool. Isn't a hug the first stage of sex? Okay, so hug, is it there? No, it's not. Okay, let's see. Back massages. Is a massage there? That's coming from Emily. Back massages. No, it's not. It's a good answer. Rosie Graham says a hot bath. Is a hot bath there? No, it's not. Oh, guys. I've only had 2 correct answers. Let me give you some. Some clues. Okay, the number 7 answer is a kind of entertainment. Fill in the blank. Blank and chill. What is better than sex? Blank and chill. What's the missing word in that phrase? Con has an answer. He says Netflix. Is Netflix there? Yes, it is. Well done. It's the 7th most popular, with 5 of the 100 humans saying Netflix. You guys are so wholesome. Vero says long friendships. It's true, but did the 100 humans agree? No, they didn't. Everyone's just writing massage. Check again. Check the 100 humans again. Foot massage, back massage. Guys, massages, they're not there. Okay. All right, let me give you another clue. This next one is a drink. Falsely, people believe that this drink is drunk at room temperature in England, and it's not. We drink it cold, just like everywhere else. What am I talking about? What kind of a drink is it? Be specific. Be specific. It's probably the most common Don't worry, be happy as an answer. We saw a bunch in the chat. We saw wine, alcohol in general. Don't worry, be happy. Friday Corn and the Bridge all say beer. Is beer there? Yes, it is. It's the number 6 answer. Okay. Lemonade, says Armstrong. Scotch. All right. Okay, next one. You're doing well, guys. You've identified 4. 3 more to go. Okay, so I asked 100 humans to name something that is better than sex. This is an activity we engage in usually during the summer. This summer I haven't had one. When I do, I'm gonna go see my family. It's an activity that encompasses maybe a week, 2 weeks of your time, depends how lucky you are. Mama Bo has an idea. Mama Bo has an answer. Conman has an answer. They all say a vacation or a holiday. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Okay, guys. 2 more answers to get. There was some good answers. A pool. Holidays. No. There was another one I saw there. Sunbathing. Sunbathing better than sex. Okay. The Bridge also said holiday. All right. Okay, the number 3 answer. This seems to fuel our precarious society. The vast majority of this thing is in the hands of under 1% of society, but we all need it in this modern world. What am I talking about? Name something. Pornography, says Con. This is the after work. This is the after dark. So you're allowed. We have drugs. Bridge says work. Come on. Shopping says don't worry, be happy. None of those are there. But Emily and the Bridge have an answer. They both say money. Is money there? Yes, it is. Well done. Money is there. 14 of the 100 humans said money. All right. Strap yourselves in, folks. This is the last one you didn't get. It is the second most popular answer. This is a type of food. Italian in nature. Just like you can, as they say, there's no such thing as bad sex. They compare it to a particular food. Just like there's no such thing as bad blank. What is it? Mama Bo says pasta. The Bridge says ice cream. But Con, don't worry, be happy, both said pizza. Is pizza there? Yes, it is. Well done. That was the number 2 answer. You guys are crazy. All right, let's take a look at the answers there. So I asked 100 humans to name something that is better than sex. In position number 7, we had Netflix. Don't know what you're watching on Netflix, but seriously, try sex. All right, in position number 6, we had beer, cerveza. 7 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 5, we had chocolate. Chocolate. This is something I hear all the time. Chocolate is better than sex. Like, jeez. I need to shop at the same supermarket you're shopping at. All right. In position number 4, we had a vacation or a holiday. In position number 3, we had money. Money, with 14 of 100 humans saying money is better than sex. In position number 2, we had pizza. 22 of 100 humans said pizza is better than sex. And finally, in position number 1, a big congratulations to Crystal, who got this one. It was sleep. Woo. All right, friends. On that note, let's go to complete the news.
Complete the news.
Okay, guys, at this point, you know how this works. I'm going to give you a real-life news headline, and then I'm going to leave out some important information. Your job in the live audience is to identify the missing piece of information. If you're one of the many people watching the show, but you're not interacting, this is your moment, because all you have to write is A, B, or C. All right. Okay, are we ready? What's going on in the chat really quickly before we get into this? Oh no, pizza over ice cream? Gelato, Olive Garden. Those 100 humans need a frying pan to the head. Rosie Grams agrees. I think Momabo, Emily, and Min all want to murder the 100 humans. You can combine half of these with sex. Yeah, true. True story. Apart from the Netflix thing, it'd get distracting. When I'm watching when I'm catching up on The Circle, Netflix's hit reality TV show, I don't want to be distracted by booty. Are you kidding? All right, here we go. Let's do this. So, here we go. First one. California School District. We're picking on California. California School District to pay $2.25 million to settle a lawsuit involving a teacher who blank. Okay, so a California school district has to pay $2.25 million to settle a lawsuit involving a teacher who blank. Un distrito escolar de California deberá pagar $2.25 millones de dólares para resolver una demanda contra un profesor que... Oh my God, I'm going to give myself...
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Jeezy Louise. Is it A? Is it a teacher who refused to teach creationism? If you don't know, creationism is the title for teaching the Bible as if it was science. Sorry. But you know what I mean. Que se negó a enseñar creacionismo. Okay. Is it B? Did this teacher stage an alien abduction for a science lesson? How do you say stage in Spanish? Is it escenificó? Escenificó una abducción alienígena? God, I'll never be able to say that word. An alien abduction. Para un clase de ciencias. Or is it C? Had a student's baby. Okay, so California School District to pay $2.25 million to settle a suit involving a teacher who... Is it A? Refused to teach creationism. B? Staged an alien abduction. Or C? Had a student's baby. All right, I'm seeing some B's in the chat. One, how many A's? 3. C's, just 1. Okay, I think B is in the lead. Am I counting correctly here? I think. Oh, no, A is in the lead. A, refused to teach creationism. Let's see if you're correct. California School District has to pay $2.25 million to settle a suit involving a teacher who had a student's baby. What a world. Yeah, true story. A Southern California school district will pay $2.25 million to settle the latest lawsuit involving a teacher who became pregnant by one of at least 2 students she was accused of sexually abusing. The settlement brings to $8.25 million, the amount paid by Redlands Unified School District. Jeez Louise. To Laura Winehurst victims since her 2013 arrest. Oh my God, friends. All right. Well, look, we're bumping up against the edge of today's show. I knew it was C, but I was hoping it was B, says Emily. That stuff riddles South African schools too, says Friday Corn. Man, that's sad. Guys, what an amazing After Dark show. We've got another controversial topic and another After Dark show coming for you tomorrow night, same time. That's 6 p.m. Central European time. I would love to see more of you there. Guys, a lot of things you could have been doing this evening, but instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I'll see you tomorrow.